Sylvie of the multiple award-winning The Queen Sylvie Show. You want to expand and get noticed? Then come outside your box and into our world. Internet advertising has a real impact on global awareness and even sales, so let's make an impact together. Offering for a limited time advertising and sponsorship packages that excel your purpose. So contact Queen Sylvie or Smooth Tim for the exciting opportunities that awaits. Yeah.
Are you tired of driving around a dirty car? Say hello to the ultimate solution for your car. Quick Auto Detail, home, work, or wherever. Their mobile car spa will clean and shine your car anytime and anywhere. Their products are gentle on your car's paint, and they use only the highest quality materials. Book your appointment now.
Hey kids, how would you like to hear this on the screen instead of the great show you came to see? That's what you sound like. Honest. Please cooperate and do your part in keeping this theater quiet so everyone, including you, can enjoy it. Now remember, lots of adults and kids, too, paid admission to enjoy the show. We must insist on absolute quiet.
Oh,
DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is looking for help from you, the general public. Please call us for reducing waste, fraud, and abuse, along with any helpful insights or awesome ideas. If you have a neighbor you don't like, or see someone with a t-shirt slogan you don't approve of, or even don't understand something you have analyzed in the 2 seconds it takes to get out of your car, call DOGE. If you see strange, nefarious behavior at the bank, or a clear foreign spy at the post office, or a child at a soccer game who sits on the bench just a little too long, call DOGE. Someone cuts you off on the highway, arrives at barber before you by mere seconds, takes the last box of adult diapers at the supermarket, call DOGE. If someone posts something on X that you disagree with, we will do a full, thorough, top-to-bottom audit of all their finances, investments, and fire their uncle who works at FEMA. Now is the time to be vigilant, reactive, unforgiving, before the Congress remembers they exist. So tell on your neighbors and get on the revenge train. And remember, snitches get riches.
Call DOGE at 1-800-MUSKRAT.
I'm President Elon Musk, and I approve this message.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Hey. Welcome to another episode of Tim's Tidbits. I hope you're so far having a great Wednesday evening, a happy hump day. Weather's improving a little bit. Hey, we got 50-degree weather up here in Ohio. I don't know what's happening. Freezing one day and get out and catch a tan the next. Wonderful weather we're having. Anyhow, hey, I hope everybody's doing really well around the world. Still all kinds of things going on. Thoughts and prayers are out there with everybody suffering from fires to tornadoes. I see last night in Texas they had a spawn of tornadoes and going up into the Carolinas, and it's been quite an interesting season as far as weather goes. And hey, to you people out there in the foreign countries, especially you listening out there in Australia, France, Ireland, Africa, Poland, Germany, Mexico, Canada, the UK, as well as you in the US of A. I appreciate you tuning in to last week's show, and we'll get right to it. And, well, last night, real quickly before we dive into the show, President Trump gave his speech to the joint session of Congress. And as usual, there was a ton of lies that came out of his mouth, misinformation. The show is not long enough to fact check the 2 hours of BS that the gentleman laid down on us. But know that, there are at least 12 key points that he hit on was just total BS. Go ahead and do your fact checking. This fact check Trump's speech at the joint session of Congress. See what you come up with. Anyhow, you know that, what was that? Was that over Monday? Or was that over the weekend that Zelensky was in the White House talking to Trump, and they were going to sign an agreement when it came to the mineral deal with Ukraine. The U.S. would have some mineral rights in Ukraine, and supposedly this would help alleviate some of the push from Putin, and Trump would be able to do something about ending this war. But it really didn't go as well as planned. Check this out. I'm sure you've seen it, but hey, here's a recap, and I got a little entertainment for you in there, too.
And Friday's contentious Oval Office encounter between President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. Analysis from our Robert Costa.
I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world.
What played out Friday in the Oval Office was a diplomatic breakdown, with President Donald Trump pushing back against Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky, and with Vice President J.D. Vance doing the same.
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
Many Trump supporters say Zelensky was out of line. Many Trump critics say Zelensky was right for standing up to Vladimir Putin and to Trump.
During the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling.
Trump ended Friday's showdown by noting this.
This is going to be great television, I will say that.
But where does it leave the prospects for peace?
Yeah, that was kind of a shit show, folks. But apparently, today, Wednesday, last night, Vladimir wrote a nice little love letter to Don to make him feel good about himself, and maybe the negotiations will go forward. But in any event, yeah, I mean, you know, it could have been a two-way street. Number one, I mean, Vladimir should have listened a little better, probably, and Trump should have never been sticking his finger in his face and, you know, dogged him out on national TV like that. And, hey, again, it was just a shit show. But you heard him. He said he was going to help the entire world. You know, he's not interested in just USA, Ukraine. He's in tune with the whole world. And what I believe he's probably trying to go out for is maybe some type of recognition, some type of prize. What could it ever be?
How to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel, a prestigious honor given to those who bring harmony to the world. But why rely on traditional diplomacy when a bold new strategy can shake things up? Today we meet a businessman, a statesman, a visionary, as he paves his own path to global peace, a domestic genius. Step 1, the D word. Traditional diplomacy says you should treat your negotiating partners with respect. But what if you didn't? By branding friends as foes, you gain the upper hand. Just call your allies dictators. Yes, that's the D word, even when they're fighting actual dictators. Step 2, sabotage. Always make sure that with your allies you have the upper hand. Why listen when you can lecture? Why debate when you can grandstand? Once your allies are properly embarrassed, tell them the deal is off. Nothing strengthens your reputation like sabotaging foreign relations with allies. Step 3. Bad is good. Many Nobel laureates broke a peace by standing up to aggression. But real trailblazers know sometimes it pays to pick the other side.
Your people are starving, but you look good, Kimmy.
Why back struggling democracies when you can champion the strong men? Align yourself with history's most dynamic figures. A real statesman rewards strength, not weakness. Step 4. Friendly media. Of course, earning a Nobel Peace Prize is hard work, so why not let others do the heavy lifting?
도널드 트럼프는 세계에서 두 번째로 뛰어난 지도자이다.
Whatever this broad just said, I second it.
By flooding the airwaves with fawning praise, you create momentum.
Just give him a Nobel Peace Prize. He earned it.
I bet you can just taste that Nobel Prize.
Say, there he is!
Step 5. Make your own. And if, despite all this, the so-called experts refuse to give you the award, why not create your own? With a homemade honor, you set your own rules. No committees, no critics, just you. And there you have it. 5 simple steps to securing your place in history. Now go have it your way.
Yep. Going for that Nobel Peace Prize. There you go, Donnie. Good luck. Hey, during all the different meetings that Doge has had with the various members of Congress in regards to the various cuts that he's made, besides 20,000+ federal employees, cutting out DEI, and that's real interesting. When you look at diversity, equity, and inclusion, that also includes your handicap parking, your handicap restrooms, your changing tables in the restroom for men so they can go in and change the baby for a change. There's a lot more to this DEI than just the surface of what they're trying to say. Well, it has to do with gay, and it's a lot deeper than that, folks. In religion, education, everything else, and it's just getting kicked to the curb. But pay attention to what's going on. But anyhow, Elon got called out on by Congress, and when you're making all these cuts, Elon, trying to save America money and reduce our national deficit, so to speak, how about the money you're making daily off of the United States? Could that be in the upwards of $8 million a day, Elon?
Donald Trump's unelected co-president Elon Musk has control over virtually every part of our government as head of the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, which is not a department. And crucially, he can hide everything he is doing from the American public. You see, because Trump has designated his department initiative as presidential records, which is not what departments are, which means he now is able to skirt open records laws, according to the New York Times. And as Elon Musk moves to dismantle programs that serve seniors and school children, working families, not to mention like desperately poor folks across the world, or like literally just today, illegally revoking $80 million appropriated to New York City from FEMA for migrants by just straight up, get this, taking it out of the city's bank account somehow. And doing this, Musk is, while he is profiting from his own government contracts, as congressional Democrats pointed out today in the very first ever Doge oversight hearing.
I'll ask you, Mr. Talcove, do you know how much money a day Mr. Musk will receive from the federal government for his contracts?
No.
The answer is $8 million a day. Ms. Royal, do you know how much the average person in this country who survives on Social Security, one of our seniors who's worked their entire life, about how much they have to survive on a day?
I do not.
$65 a day. We're not looking into Elon Musk's $8 million a day. This subcommittee, chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene and the House Republicans, is looking into your grandmother's $65 a day.
That was a hell of a comparison by that gentleman out of Texas. So, yeah, we're going to let the $6 million a day slide with Elon. I'm sure somehow that his algorithms miss that. But your grandmother, $65 a day, pay for her rent, food, and everything else is scrutinized. Keep an eye on this, folks. Seriously keep an eye on this. And what else is going on? Possibly, he cut funding, to some of the various organizations that are out there to help starving people, starving children, house people who aren't housed. But we're going to make cuts on that. But we could award a $400 million defense contract to Tesla. I wonder if Elon's looking at that, too.
Well, now, as the top campaign donor to U.S. President Donald Trump, Elon Musk has apparently somehow convinced the United States government, specifically the United States Department of State, that the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production units.
Do you think our adversaries will have those same type of concerns or limitations? Well, yeah. I mean, it depends on how much existential risk there is in these wars. So if it's a regional war, I think it'll be more tempered. If it goes beyond a regional war, then it's all bets are off.
What if I told you that Tesla, yes, the company known for luxury electric cars, just landed a $400 million deal with the U.S. government to build armored military vehicles? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's real, and it's already happening. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this a genius move for the future of military technology, or a catastrophic gamble that could put national security at risk? The big deal, Tesla enters the defense industry. Elon Musk's Tesla has officially stepped into the world of military defense, a sector long dominated by giants like Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. Tesla's innovative approach to electric vehicles has already disrupted the auto industry, but now the company is setting its sights on an entirely new battlefield. This deal could be the start of something much bigger. We're talking about armored electric military vehicles, a first-of-its-kind technology that could redefine modern warfare. If successful, Tesla's military EVs might replace traditional fuel-powered combat vehicles, offering a more sustainable and efficient alternative. Tesla's entry into the defense sector signals a major shift, where cutting-edge EV technology meets modern warfare. With advancements in battery efficiency, AI-driven automation, and lightweight armor materials, the company could revolutionize how military vehicles operate. These vehicles could be quieter, harder to detect via infrared sensors, and require less logistical support compared to traditional fuel-dependent machines. But major challenges remain. No electric military vehicle has ever been fully battle-tested in large-scale combat. Battery reliability. Can Tesla's batteries endure extreme temperatures, EMP attacks, and long-duration missions without failure? Cybersecurity risks. Tesla's vehicles rely heavily on software and AI, making them potential targets for hacking and electronic warfare. Could enemy forces disable or even hijack these EVs remotely? Supply chain concerns. The defense industry relies on robust and secure supply chains. With global lithium shortages and increasing geopolitical tensions, can Tesla maintain steady production of its military EVs? The U.S. government's interest in Tesla raises questions.
Interesting. $400 million a year so he can research building these Teslas that are armored and go into the jet industry, taking out Grumman and some of these others. Hey, I'm sure that with that Doge will overlook that entire thing. I'm sure that is perfectly fine spending of your money. And speaking of perfectly fine spending of your money, one of the other things that was brought up last night in his speech was Trump again mentioned this Iron Dome system, just like Israel has. And he blew past it real fast, but also be aware that about 2 weeks ago we covered this, and that thing has a price tag of about $2.5 trillion to implement a defense system like Israel's here in the United States. So as long as you're looking to save money, we may as well go spend $2.5 trillion on a defense system that, why should we need it? We haven't been under attack forever, unless when you're thinking about taking Panama, you're thinking about taking Greenland and, and all of a sudden taking over Ukraine. I don't know what your intentions are for that, but we'll see. Maybe we will need it. Who knows, folks? Anyhow, one of the other things that I thought was kind of interesting, and you talk about super, super uncomfortable, is they had a cabinet meeting. Don had a meeting with his cabinet, his cronies, and Elon got up and gave a little bit of speech, and then at the end, Don asked, if anybody had any type of questions, any type of problems, and you talk about being put on the spot, and everybody's sitting on their hands. Well, I'm sure, nobody wants to hit the guillotine. Check this out.
We'll finish off with that, and if you would have any questions, please ask. You could ask me or Elon. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Musk. I just wanted to ask you that President Trump put out a Truth Social today saying that everybody in the cabinet was happy with you. I just wondered if you had heard otherwise, and if you had heard anything about members of the cabinet who weren't happy with the way things were going, and if so, what are you doing to address those any dissatisfaction?
Elon, let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with Elon? If you are, we'll throw them out of here. Is anybody unhappy? We have a lot of respect for Elon and that he's doing this, and some disagree a little bit, but I will tell you, for the most part, I think everyone's not only happy, they're thrilled. So go ahead, Elon.
And President Trump has put together...
Yeah, and anybody disagrees, well, throw them out of here. So what are you going to do? I mean, you talk about being put on the spot, and you have your career on the line, and maybe some of them should grow a backbone and say something, that some of these cuts in what they're looking at, some of this misinformation that they're feeding again last night. And we covered that in last week's show. And if you didn't catch up on it, you can catch up on it. Go to our YouTube site and drop in the Queen Sylvie Show. You'll get the results of all the shows that I'm involved with. You'll catch up on this past episode that I'm referring to. And we covered Social Security, where they were claiming there were people 120, 130, 150 plus years old drawing off Social Security. No, that's total BS. I explain it. It's no cold ball system that can't handle the certain numbers like 2,000. Actually had to make that change when I was working in an IT system. But those are red flag. There's nobody getting Social Security at 150, 200 plus years old. That's another bit of misinformation that the president likes to spew out there. And if you fact check it, again, total BS. Anyhow, we know that they were just unloading federal employees as part of this DOGE. If you had 2 years or less of experience and you were still a probationary employee, you had exactly, 15 minutes to clear your shit out.
We appreciate all the work that you did.
The federal downsizing continues in Washington. Workers fired or put on leave from USAID were given 15 minutes to grab their stuff and go. Those leaving the D.C. headquarters Thursday were greeted by supporters.
To be honest, I'm heartbroken. I thought I would be working here the next 20 years. So I'm just trying to figure out what's next, but I'm really proud of the work that we did do.
It's part of President Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency's plan to drastically reduce the federal workforce.
We have to. We're bloated. We're sloppy. We have a lot of people that aren't doing their job.
Federal agencies have until March 13th to submit plans for large-scale layoffs. DOGE leader Elon Musk says without large cuts to federal programs, the nation could go bankrupt.
If we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September.
But Democrats say cuts by the administration and congressional Republicans go too far.
They passed a budget resolution that not only is going to gut Medicaid and Medicare, but is going to make these cuts and federal firing permanent, even though they know it is making America less safe.
Donald Trump is a wrecking ball that's already damaging the American economy, and he's going to do even more of it.
Federal agencies are supposed to outline how they will consolidate offices or relocate outside of the D.C. area by April.
That should be interesting. I mean, you've laid off a heck of a lot of the workforce, and you still want the government to run efficiently. And obviously, there was a lot of people that were promoted to positions that were now classified as probationary. Let them go. There's people that just got hired out of college. Let them go. Some military vets, that this is their source of income. Let them go. So, crazy. And a lot of these things are, I don't know if you can constitute it illegal. That's interesting that he claims somehow to do all this with Doge under the Presidential Records Act, so that it's private. You can't see it. It's all confidential. Sounds a bit underhanded. But anyhow, hey, again, let's refer to last night when they, during the joint sessions of Congress, we had one interruption, and that came from Al Green of Texas. And Al was not happy at the very start, and he called out Trump right from the very beginning of it. And guess what? Speaker Mike Johnson had the sergeant at arms escort him right on out of the place, and they didn't want to hear anything negative.
Sir, what were you shouting to the president?
The president said he had a mandate. And I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. I have people who are very fearful. These are poor people, and they have only Medicaid in their lives when it comes to their health care. And I want him to know that his budget calls for deep cuts in Medicaid. He needs to save Medicaid, protect it. We need to raise the cap on Social Security. There's a possibility that it's going to be hurt. And we've got to protect Medicare. These are the safety net programs that people in my congressional district depend on. And this president seems to care less about them and more about the number of people that he can remove from the various programs that have been so helpful to so many people. It is the best way to get it across to a person who uses his incivility against our civility. He is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
So do you have no mandate? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me. I've said I'll accept the punishment, but it's worth it to let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security.
So were you saying you have no mandate? Is that what you told us?
That's what he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. None.
Is the only punishment that you were kicked out, sir? Is there something?
I don't know. Whatever the punishment is, I'm not fighting the punishment. This is about the people who are being punished by virtue of losing their health care. This is the richest country in the world, and we have people who don't have good health care. We've got to do better. And now we're about to cut Medicaid, which is for poor people. Health care has become wealth care for many people, and we can't afford to let that happen.
Is that the only thing that you're protesting?
No, I have other things I'm protesting. And I'm also working on my articles of impeachment. This president is unfit. He should not hold the office. 34 felony convictions, 2 times impeached.
Sir, tell me one more time what you were shouting in the chamber.
That he has no mandate to cut Medicaid.
That's what you were saying over and over. Thank you, sir.
Yes. No mandate. Thank you. Thank you, all of them. Thank you.
So yeah, cut Medicaid, cut Social Security. And as I said, pay attention. You think some of these are great things? You may be on the right side of this, and you may be on the left side of this entire issue, but also look at the particular facts. Do you really want to have Medicaid cut? Do you really want to have other social services cut? Do you really want to have your Social Security cut? There's a lot of things going on that is going to hurt not the wealthy, but the poor people in this country when they have no resource, no avenue to take when they need some type of assistance. So it'll be interesting. But speaking of avenues, one thing that Trump did decide would probably be a really great idea. As you know, we have ICE removing illegals from the United States, and I don't know what type of discretion necessarily they're using. Are they convicted? Have they been convicted of a crime? Have they transgressed against the United States, another individual? I don't necessarily know what the criteria is for them to remove somebody from the country. But one thing that Don has come up with is a criteria so you can come into the country.
President Donald Trump told reporters Tuesday his administration plans to sell a gold card for $5 million that will provide wealthy non-citizens U.S. residency and a route to citizenship, announcing the visas as he spearheads a mass deportation initiative. Trump said the card will give buyers the same privileges as green card holders who have permanent residency and work authorizations in the U.S. The card will launch sometime over the next 2 weeks, according to Trump, who claimed his administration would not need congressional approval to establish the card, quote, because we're not doing citizenship, we're doing the card. The president said, though, wealthy people who buy the card would be investing in the U.S. by, quote, spending a lot of money, paying a lot of taxes, and employing a lot of people. Trump said funds created by the gold card would primarily be used to pay down the national debt, estimating his administration will be able to sell 1 million cards and generate trillions in revenue. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the card will replace the EB-5 program, which allows immigrants to secure green cards if they create a business and at least 10 permanent full-time jobs for U.S. workers. It is unclear if EB-5 visa holders will lose their privileges if the program ends. EB-5 visa usage reached its highest point ever in fiscal year 2024, with at least 12,839 EB-5 visa numbers used through last January, according to State Department data cited by trade organization Invest in the USA. Lutnick also blasted the EB-5 program, calling it, quote, full of nonsense and, quote, a way to get a green card that was low-priced. For more on this story, read Antonio Pequeño's article linked in the description.
Interesting. So for $5 million, the low price of $5 million, you can come into the United States, start a business, and not get kicked out for a while. Maybe, I don't know how that works. Interesting that, this gold card that he comes up with, he gets to be able to skirt Congress, right? So that they don't have to approve what he's doing. And the same thing with Doge. And what really got me last night, and I'm going to stop talking about this because, the whole thing was insane. But to listen to him talk about Doge, talking to him about his gold card, everything else, and you seen the Democratic members of the House kind of sitting on their hands. They didn't applaud. They held up little signs. But what really got me was the Republican response. When he's talking about Doge, when he's talking about this gold card, and he's completely bypassing Congress, and these people are, yay, yes, I'm a complete worthless piece of crap. There's no need for me. Yay, Don. So if he's going to completely bypass you all the time, why are you applauding for him? Why are you supporting these moves? Because obviously he doesn't need you. Keep that in mind. Good way to skirt Congress and get things done. And there's another little avenue that Don's been taking over the past few weeks since his inauguration. Ways to get things done that you don't have to have congressional approval for. Interesting. Anyhow, hey, let's get on to a little something else. And that would be that sometimes they're talking about fraud, they're talking about misuse, they're talking about things that need to be corrected. How about if you have a person that's on disability and he's receiving disability on a monthly basis, has another job, but the reason for his disability is, physical. He cannot perform the tasks anymore, but apparently maybe he got better or I don't know how this all works.
It's disturbing video being seen across America.
Excuse me, Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting me.
A woman is violently dragged out of a Republican town hall by 3 security guards. But now the sheriff who ordered her removal is under scrutiny.
Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
Sheriff Robert Morris tugs hard on the woman's arm. So how is it that he's drawing $150,000 a year in disability payments from Los Angeles County?
I'm asking you to go. You want pepper spray?
In 2014, Norris retired as a lieutenant in the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department with, get this, shoulder and other physical injuries. So how is it possible that Robert Norris is able to get all that money in disability checks? Well, the rule says he's prohibited from working as a cop, but that rule doesn't apply to elected officials, and Norris is an elected sheriff. A statement from LA County says disability payments are approved only if an independent physician confirms the employee is permanently incapacitated and cannot perform their duties. The woman removed from the town hall is a Democratic politician in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. The mayhem began amid heckling at the raucous meeting of about 450 people. That's when Norris gets involved, says the...
Interesting. So this sheriff, who's from Los Angeles County, he's on disability at $150,000 a year, and he has another job as a sheriff, making Lord knows what. They didn't even cover that. So this guy's probably cleaning over $200,000 a year, and half of that's on disability. How's that work? If there's a trick to that, I'd like to know it. I mean, show me how you do that. I wouldn't mind collecting $150,000 for a sore shoulder, and I can still go out there and perform my duties at some other capacity without exception. I don't know how that works. I have no clue. Anyhow, hey, let's move on. We're pretty much towards the end of the show. And we have a dude what the fuck moment. And my dude what the fuck moment is actually kind of funny, if you think about it. And that is these people decided it would be a great idea to go into this particular establishment and steal a toilet. Why would they want to steal a damn toilet? Check it out.
And this is how you steal a golden toilet. Authorities in the UK have just released surveillance video of a 5-year-old crime. In 2019, a group of creative thieves struck Blenheim Palace, the birthplace of Winston Churchill.
A group of offenders broke into the palace and stole a high-value toilet made out of gold that was on display.
The toilet they grabbed was made of 18-karat gold and was insured for $6 million. 2 cars drove across the palace lawn in the footage shown to jurors in the court case. About 5 minutes after the thieves' arrival, they're seen taking the golden toilet out of the building. The 216-pound gilded loo was loaded in the back of a stolen Volkswagen Golf car. The pricey chamber pot is a piece of art that was showcased at New York's Guggenheim Museum. The title of the golden toilet that really flushes is America, and the artist Maurizio Catalan offered it to Trump to display at the White House during his first term as president. 5 defendants are facing multiple charges in this case. 2 have pleaded guilty to some of the alleged crimes. Authorities believe the toilet was broken up and melted down. It is never flushed again.
The case of the golden toilet. Yeah, that's insane. And that was at Winston Churchill's birthplace. So, hey, why not have gold fixtures? Why not have a golden toilet? I can go back some years when I used to work for a Fortune 500 company, and on the executive floors, the toilets, the fixtures, not the actual toilet itself, but the fixtures, the faucets, the air dryer, everything was gold and real gold. So, yeah, Yeah, there's all kinds of interesting wasteful spending, but I'm glad those guys, and maybe they melted down the toilet and they are enjoying the reaps of their ripoff. Hey, anyhow, let's move on to another part of the show that I always like to enjoy, and that is our asshole of the week. And our asshole of the week happens to be a fast food worker who thought it would be a good idea to borrow a woman's credit card and maybe not so wisely use it. How about that?
We have new information on that Whataburger worker accused of stealing a customer's credit card info to pay her court fines. Police have given her a week to turn herself in, but they learned she has since fled the state. As Fox 5's Doug Evans reports, since her story hit the news, she wants a second chance to surrender.
Sonoy police tell me that 25-year-old Alifa Sumter wants a do-over when it comes to turning herself in. The internet has already dubbed the Whataburger worker one of the dumbest criminals after she allegedly used stolen credit card information from a drive-through customer to pay her own court fines. Police say back in January, Sumter was working the drive-thru at this Noonan Whataburger. A customer reported to Sonoy police that his credit card information was used to pay $400 in fines at the Coweta County State Court Probation Office. Investigators say they simply searched whose fines got paid. They say it was Sumter, and her info revealed she worked at Whataburger. They asked the victim if he'd been to the burger joint. They say he said yes, he had. And he later picked her out of a lineup. Coweta County took out a warrant for probation violation. Sonoy police took out felony warrants for identity theft and credit card fraud. Keep in mind, Sumter's probation was just for misdemeanor pot possession, so things have escalated significantly. Authorities gave her until Friday to turn herself in, but they say she didn't. On Monday, they learned she'd skipped the state. After her story appeared on Fox 5 and on social media, seemingly everywhere, police say she contacted them, asking to turn herself in on Wednesday.
She's taken quite a hammering on social media.
No shit.
She made a mistake. She's not an awful person, but obviously made a bad mistake, and hopefully she'll learn from it and move on. Am I confident she's going to turn herself in? No, but we'll see.
Police say they have good reason to be skeptical, but they say they also don't mind giving her another chance to do the right thing. In Sonoy, Doug Evans, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, that was really stupid. So wait, I got caught up for possession, like a joint, who knows? And you're just going to get a simple slap on the hand and basically a traffic fine, traffic ticket, $400 for probably court costs and fine. And she thought it would be a great idea to steal somebody's credit card and pay for it that way. So now she's elevated it to, identity theft, grand theft. That's a well-deserved asshole of the week. Anyhow, that wraps up the show, folks. And I think we are out of here. We have wrapped it up, so I am going to say goodbye to you. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. And until next week, people, stay calm, stay informed. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Well, I had a 2:30 appointment. It's 4 o'clock. I'm always getting it from this guy. I tell you, sometimes I think that guy wants to see me dead.
I loved him so much. I know. He was a good father, a loving husband.
Hey, come on, you think you feel bad? The guy owed me $100. Maybe he left his wallet on him.
Doctor!
I'm only kidding. What did he die of anyway?
You're his doctor. You were with him. You tell me.
Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, when you lose as many patients as I do, it's hard to keep track.
But you just gave him a physical last week.
I know. I checked his pulse. I checked his blood pressure. I checked his,
Heart?
Hey, you a doctor, too?
Dr. Boombots, somebody wants you to autograph a copy of your new book. The Way You Made Love Last Winter, You Ruined My Spring.
Oh, sure. Hey, before I forget, I want you to call Laverne, send her a dozen roses, a bottle of champagne, and 50 feet of rope. Then call my wife and tell her tonight I'll be all tied up. Okay, everything seems to be normal. Now, Bonnie. Okay, now look. I want you to take 2 milk bones and call me in the morning and stay off your feet. Okay.
Dr. Boombox.
I'll pay you. I promise I'll pay you. I just need more time. Please.
Hey, Doc, it's me, Rodney. I'm a patient. Should I go inside and take off all my clothes?
Hey, what do you want? Me to get sick? What's your problem?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Does this hurt?
No.
Does this hurt?
No.
How about this? I know your problem now. You can't take it. You gotta relax. Here's some sleeping pills. Now, there's enough there to last you for 3 months.
What, should I take 1 a day?
I know you. You'll forget. Take them all now. Call me in the morning if you wake up. Now, get out of here. Who is it?
Dr. Boombots, your wife is on the phone.
My wife? How did she get this number?